It is what it is. We cannot make it what Hallmark or Hershey says it is. There's a place for that kind of stuff. This isn't it. From Luke's account in the 19th chapter, as Jesus came to Bethphage and Bethany on the Mount of Olives, he gave 2 disciples a task. He said, "Go into the village over there. When you enter it, you will find tied up there a colt that no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it here. If someone asks, 'Why are you untying it?' just say, 'Its master needs it.'" Or an angel. Those who had been sent found it exactly as he had said. As they were untying the colt, its owners said to them, "Why are you untying the colt?" They replied, "Its master needs it." They brought it to Jesus, threw their clothes on the colt, and lifted Jesus onto it. As Jesus rode along, they spread their clothes on the road. As Jesus approached the road leading down from the Mount of Olives, the whole throng of his disciples began rejoicing. They praised God with a loud voice because of all the mighty things they had seen. They said, "Blessings on the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest heavens." Some of the Pharisees from the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, scold your disciples. Tell them to stop." He answered, "I tell you, if they were silent, the stones would shout." This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
We make a lot in the church about the events of Holy Week. They are the stuff of legend. My goodness, how many movies and books and paintings and poems have been offered over the years talking about this very event. The triumphant entry into Jerusalem of the Messiah, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and all the rest. But did you notice what was said here today? I want to point out a couple things on this passage that, frankly, I hadn't thought about until this morning. Yes. First of all, Jesus was ready for what was about to happen. He had prepared himself. His entire life, 33 years, had prepared him for what was about to unfold in the streets of Jerusalem. Had he not listened to his parents, had he not attended instruction and learned the ways of his ancestors, had been shown through patient and intense learning, he would not have known about Moses and Elijah and the other prophets. He would not have known about the Passover. He would not have known any of those things. But he knew. He had read and heard Isaiah in the synagogue. He had sat at the feet of the teachers in the temple and had conversed with them as an equal, because he was ready in the right place at the right time. Had he not been ready, he would have been just another executed criminal by the empire. And we would not be here this morning. But because Jesus placed himself at at the moment of God's choosing, we are here. But, lest we think that this is only about Jesus, I'm here to tell you this morning, there's more to the story. Now, don't get me wrong, Jesus is pretty darn important here. But there's more to the story. Did you notice? Well, let's just revisit this, shall we? There was a tradition of when a triumph in the empire or throughout the Middle East of taking palm branches as a sign of victory. And there was another tradition of taking cloaks and clothing and putting it on the ground so that the king's steed would not get its hooves dusty. So this was not totally out of character for what was going on. But it wasn't everybody in Jerusalem that day who was waving palm branches. The text says it was his disciples. They were the ones shouting out, "The king is here." It wasn't something spontaneous. These were Jesus' disciples. And by the way, there was more than 12. I know that's shocking. We know that there were more than 12. There's at least 70. Now, I don't know if that counts as a throng, but there you are. So they walked in a procession, following a guy on a donkey. Think about this for a second. This is a procession, and the best they come up with is a donkey? Well, yeah. Why? There were other donkeys in Jerusalem that day. This was not the only donkey they could have found. But they found this one. Did anyone ask the donkey if this was okay? No. Why? Because the donkey was there to do what it was put there to do. Now that seems kind of obvious. I own the beast of burden, it will do my bidding. Well, have you ever tried to make a donkey do something it didn't want to do? So, this donkey is selected among all the other donkeys in Jerusalem that day to carry the king. And then these two guys show up. Now, nowhere in any tradition that I can find are the two disciples that Jesus sent, are they named. They could have been 2 of the 12. They could have been 2 of the throng. We don't know. But think about this for a second. Those 2 disciples, whoever they were there following Jesus. They didn't just happen on the scene. They didn't just wake up that morning and think, I think I'm going to go find me a donkey. The Lord said, I want you two to go there and do this. Do you realize how extraordinary that is? Think about this. In the entire history of the world, these 2 people were selected to do something that the Lord wanted them to do. Isn't that what Christians say we're all about? Oh, we're following Jesus. We'll do whatever he says. Well, what if he tells you to go get a donkey? Is that okay? Yeah. That's cool. I mean, put that on your resume. Donkey fetcher for the Lord. Yeah, that's a pretty good gig. Because that's what they did. There was no, we need to take a vote. Or, well, I really need to, there's a sale going on. As soon as it's convenient, I'm right on it. No, they were there. They had been following this teacher, and they believed him to the point when he says, go get a donkey, and this is what's going to happen. It happened. And they weren't surprised. Think about this for a second. We pray all the time. Oh, we're a praying people, we say. And then when it happens, we're surprised. Go get a donkey and be amazed. And so when they brought the donkey back, they put their clothes on it. And wow. Then it started to get real. Then the procession started. Imagine if everyone here today, and there just happened to be a donkey tied up outside. I really wish I had made that call ahead of time. But imagine what it would be like if we decided we're going to walk in a procession someplace. We don't know where we're going, but we're going to be in a procession. Did you notice that Jesus doesn't say where they're going? In none of the gospel accounts does Jesus say, folks, I appreciate your following me, but just to give you a heads up, this is where we're going. No. Jesus says get a donkey, we get a donkey. Jesus says let's go, we go. That's what being a disciple is about. We're not milling about, just making it up as we go. We're following where Christ is going. Because that's what disciples do. We follow the teacher. We follow the Messiah. Because if we're not, we're just a mob. Let's go over this way because they have good music. Let's go over this way because they have good coffee. Let's go over this way because how about instead of just following whatever the wind happens to blow in our direction, how about we actually follow Jesus? There's a radical concept for you in the church. Let's follow Jesus. Are you ready for that? Are you really ready to put your discipleship on the line? Because that's what was happening here. Throughout the week, the events of Holy Week, it's about people putting it up or shutting it. It's about putting it on the line because when you poke the emperor, when you poke the empire pokes back. Now, you might be thinking, what the heck does that mean? Is that what you're thinking, Richard? Yeah, okay. It's okay to admit it. This week, you are going to be faced with countless diversions. A myriad of choices. You're going to be faced with all types of temptations. But you're not going to be offered anything that you're not going to be offered anything that God didn't offer first. Now, when Jesus and his disciples made their way to the city that day, they were poking the empire. They were poking everything that their culture said was appropriate. They were saying there's something else in my life more significant than playing it safe. Not ruffling any empires, not disturbing the powers that be. By the very act of shouting, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord," they were thumbing their nose at the emperor. By saying, "The Messiah is here," they were thumbing their nose at the powers that said, "We will decide what you will believe. We are the arbiters of decorum and society." To be a Christian during Holy Week means that there is something else in this life that's more important. There is another way to live. There's another outcome that the empire cannot control. Are you ready to be there when the story is finished? Because that's what disciples do. So this week, I invite you, I encourage you, I plead with you to set aside everything you think you know or have planned and to be open to being sent to fetch a donkey or a neighbor or a child, to go where you are needed, to bring the good news to the world. Amen. I invite you to stand if you are able as we sing together in the first verse. We'll leave it there.